You? This one right here is wild, y'all. Like, wild. I'm talking the kind of drama that makes you pause mid-scroll and just say, nah, no way this is real. But it is. Word on the street right now, and it's moving fast, is that Drake? Yes, Aubrey Graham himself is back in the headlines, and not for another chart topper, but for another lawsuit. And insiders are saying this one. It's different. It's serious. Like Carandaline serious. Now, before you roll your eyes and say, Drake been sued before, this ain't not new. Hold up, because the details on this case are crazy. Apparently, this all started with a secret deal gone wrong. A behind-the-scenes agreement involving an ex-producer, a mystery woman, and some unreleased music that was supposed to stay in the vault. But now, it's all blowing up in Drake's face. The lawsuit claims he broke more than just a contract. There are whispers he might have broken loyalties and possibly hearts. And get this, people close to him say this could expose private texts, voice notes, and receipts that Drake never wanted public. Allegedly, there's even talk of an emotional betrayal that could tie back to someone famous. Fans are losing it. Twitter's in meltdown mode. Some are saying this could be the end of the certified lover boy era, while others swear this is just another setup by people trying to cash in. But with lawyers circling, leaks dropping, and old friends staying suspiciously quiet, one thing's for sure. Drake's not just fighting for his reputation anymore. He might be fighting for his freedom. Stay right here, because we're about to break everything down. So picture this. It's a late October night in Toronto. The city's cold, the skyline's glowing, and Drake is reportedly locked inside his Bridle Path mansion, pacing back and forth. His phone keeps buzzing. Lawyers, managers, maybe even a few old friends who suddenly got a reason to call. Everybody's talking about one thing, the lawsuit. It hit the blogs like a thunderstorm. TMZ dropped it first, but then pages like Say, Cheese, Academics, Candidly, Cassie, everybody picked it up. Drake sued again. The headline read, lawyers say he's in serious trouble. And at first, people thought it was cap. Drake's been in and out of lawsuits before. Sample clearances, ghostwriting rumors, even fan disputes. But this one felt personal. Insiders close to the OVO camp said the lawsuit came from someone who knew him before the fame, before the mansions, before the private jets. A name that hasn't been spoken in years. Allegedly, this all started with an old producer named Marcus Mars Ellison. If you've been following Drake's come up, you might remember Mars from those early mixtape days before Thank Me Later, before the Young Money deal. He was the guy cooking up beats in a tiny basement in Scarborough. The one who believed in Drake when he was just Aubrey from Degrassi? They fell out years ago over money, but now Mars is back, and he's not just asking for royalties. He's claiming emotional distress, intellectual property theft, and even fraud. But that's not the wild part. According to documents leaked online, Mars says there's a hidden folder of unreleased Drake music that was supposed to belong to both of them. Music that was never supposed to see daylight. Allegedly, Drake used melodies, hooks, and even full verses from those old sessions to create songs we all know today. Mars's lawyers are saying Drake made millions off what they created together, without credit, without permission. And then there's the twist. The leaked docs mention a mystery woman named Lana Rez, someone who used to be close to both Drake and Mars. Fans online are speculating that Lana might be the real reason this old wound is open again. Word is, back in the day, Lana was a singer who used to hang around those sessions, recording hooks and helping with ideas. She and Drake reportedly had a brief thing, nothing public, but enough to make things awkward when she started working more with Mars. Fast forward to now, Lana's resurfaced too. She posted a cryptic story on Instagram the same night the lawsuit broke. Black background, white letters, truth always comes out. No tags, no names, but fans connected the dots immediately. Comments flooded in, people tagging Drake OVA sound and even old OVO producers. The post disappeared within an hour, but screenshots spread like wildfire. By morning, it wasn't just a lawsuit anymore. It was a scandal. Drake's fans went to war in the comments. Some defended him, saying Mars was just clout chasing after years of irrelevance. Others said they always suspected there were ghosts in the OVO machine. But behind the scenes, insiders said Drake wasn't calm about it. Sources close to his team told Candidly Cassie that Drake's been more emotional than usual, snapping at his team, asking them to find out who leaked the files, and demanding to know how Lana's name got dragged into it. And here's where it gets darker. Apparently, someone from Drake's camp reached out to Mars privately before the lawsuit went public. They tried to settle it quietly, offering what one insider called a life-changing amount. But Mars refused. He told them, quote, "It's not about money anymore." That's when people knew this wasn't a typical industry beef. This was personal revenge dressed up like a legal case. Rumors started flying that Mars had more than just beats. Supposedly, he's got voice memos, reference tracks, and messages from back in the day that could seriously embarrass Drake. One source even claimed there's a recording where Drake admits to taking melodies from Mars's old demos. If that's true and it leaks, it could be a career-defining scandal. And then Lana added more fuel to the fire. A few days after her first cryptic post, she went live on Instagram for just 3 minutes. Just 3 minutes. But that's all it took. She didn't name names, but she said some people build their empires on broken promises. The world's about to find out who's really behind the mask. The live ended abruptly, but her followers doubled overnight. Now fans are split. Half believe Lana's telling the truth, half think she's being used as a pawn in Mars's game. Either way, the internet's hooked. People are digging up old photos of Drake, Mars, and Lana. Inside sources said Drake wasn't sleeping. He'd been up for 2 straight nights, locked in a home studio with only a few close friends, including one of his producers, known in the scene as Tone. Apparently, Tone was the one who found out about the voice note leak before it even hit Twitter. He rushed to Drake's house to break the news, but Drake already knew. Someone had sent it to him directly. "It's him," Drake allegedly said, pacing across the room, phone in hand. "Mars still got people around me. Somebody's feeding him everything." Tone tried to calm him down, but Drake wasn't having it. "Nah, bro, this ain't no random leak. This is personal. This man's trying to end me." That moment, according to sources, was when Drake decided to fight back. Not just legally, but publicly. But the thing with Drake is, he's strategic. He doesn't just jump on live or start tweeting. He plays chess, not checkers. So instead of reacting, he waited. Meanwhile, Mars wasn't backing down either. His camp started doing interviews, small podcasts, independent channels, nothing too mainstream yet, but enough to make noise. In one clip, Mars said, "People forget who helped him build that sound. You can't erase the past just because you've got money now." That clip went viral. It wasn't aggressive, it was calm, measured, but it hit hard. Fans started saying maybe Mars had a point. Others said he was bitter. Either way, it shifted the energy. And then, out of nowhere, Lana reappeared. She dropped a photo on Instagram, sitting in what looked like a studio, with the caption, "Recording the truth." No hashtags, no explanation, just that fans went crazy. Within minutes, Lana Rez was trending again. People were saying she's about to drop a song, spilling everything: names, dates, receipts. Others said she was being manipulated by Mars's team to stir the pot. But behind the scenes, a totally different story was forming. A producer from Atlanta, who once worked with Lana, came forward in a Clubhouse chat saying she had receipts to old voice notes, videos, and studio footage from those early OVO sessions. He said she was in the room when they made those demos. She saw it all. She knows the real story. By this point, Drake's team was panicking. Legal experts started warning that if Lana really had evidence, the case could get messy fast. They even tried reaching out through mutual contacts to negotiate, but word is Lana refused to speak unless it was on camera in her own words. That's when Drake's team made their first move. They reached out to a major Toronto news outlet and arranged a sit-down interview, not with Drake, but with one of his attorneys. The lawyer went on record saying the lawsuit was an attempt to exploit Drake's success through baseless accusations. The statement was polished, professional, and full of legal jargon. But for fans, it didn't hit. People don't want lawyers, they want emotion. They wanted to hear Drake's voice, and that's exactly what happened next, 2 days later. Drake broke his silence, not through a press release, but through music. He dropped a surprise track on SoundCloud titled The Calm Before. It wasn't an official OVO release, no promo, no label announcement. Just a link posted to his burner account, and within an hour, it had 1 million plays. The lyrics had everyone talking. Drake didn't name names, but he didn't have to. They used to build with me in basements. Now they build cases. He rapped. Funny how loyalty turned into statements. Fans instantly connected it to Mars and Lana. The tone was cold, bitter, almost haunted. And at the end, Drake whispered, "The truth don't need lawyers, it just needs time." The internet exploded. Some said it was one of his rawest verses in years. Others called it a confession. Mars reposted a clip of the song with a caption. Finally, he admits it. And that's when things really started to unravel. The following week, leaked emails surfaced, supposedly between Mars's legal team and a former OVO staff member offering money in exchange for silence. Nobody could confirm if they were real, but the screenshots looked legit. One of them even mentioned Lana by name. And as those emails started circulating, Lana posted again. This time, a short video. No filter, no glam, just her face, looking tired but determined. She said, "They tried to pay me to stay quiet. But I've been quiet for too long. You all think you know Drake, but you don't know Aubrey." Boom. That one sentence changed everything. Fans lost their minds. Even Drake's most loyal supporters started asking questions. Because she didn't sound bitter or dramatic, she sounded broken. People started flooding Drake's socials with comments like, "Say something and just tell the truth." But Drake stayed silent again. The only sign from him was another story. Fuck. Just a black screen with the owl emoji. And that's when rumors began spreading about what really went down between Drake and Lana back in the day. Allegedly, Lana was the heart of the fallout, not because of romance, but because she was caught in between. She reportedly helped both of them write a song that would later become one of Drake's early hits. The argument wasn't about who owned what, it was about who deserved to be remembered. One insider told Candidly, Cassie, that Drake and Mars had a massive argument that night, one that almost turned physical. Drake left the studio, and that was the last time they spoke for over a decade. Now, years later, the ghosts of that night are back, and this time, they've got paperwork. But things take another turn. Mars's lawyer announces in a live stream that they filed a motion demanding Drake hand over all archived digital materials from his early recording sessions. Basically, everything. Unreleased files, project folders, notes, backups, even texts. Drake's legal team instantly objects, saying it's an invasion of privacy. But if the judge grants it, that means Drake's private hard drives could become public evidence. Meanwhile, Lana's reportedly meeting with documentary producers. Word is, streaming platforms are already bidding to get her story. Insiders say she's been approached by Netflix and HBO, both wanting exclusive rights. The potential payday could be huge, but all this public chaos is taking a toll on Drake personally. Sources say he's been distant from friends, even cutting off a few longtime associates he suspects of leaking info. One insider said he doesn't trust anyone right now. Every conversation feels like it could end up online. And just when it seems like things can't get worse, another leak drops. This time, an alleged text exchange between Drake and Lana from years ago. The texts aren't scandalous, but they show a level of familiarity that fans never knew existed. Drake calls her a ray of light and thanks her for inspiring a track. That's all it took. Blogs ran headlines like Drake's Muse exposed and Lana Rez, the woman behind Drake's biggest hits. Fans are split again, some saying she deserves credit, others calling it a setup. But deep down, everyone knows this case has moved beyond money now. It's about legacy, love, and betrayal. And whoever wins this battle could rewrite hip-hop history. But the drama doesn't stop there. Because right as the internet starts to calm down, a private voicemail leaks online, one that allegedly features Drake's mother, Sandra, pleading with him to let it go before it destroys everything. The leaked voicemail hit like an earthquake. It wasn't even posted by a gossip outlet at first. It showed up on a random fan page, a tiny Twitter account with barely 1,000 followers. But within hours, it had gone viral. The clip was short, less than a minute, but it was powerful. You could clearly hear a woman's voice, soft, emotional, almost pleading. "Aubrey," she said, "you can't fight every battle. Some things aren't worth losing yourself over." People instantly recognized the voice, Drake's mother, Sandra Graham. Fans who had heard her speak in documentaries and interviews said it was unmistakable. "They're trying to drag you down, baby," she continued. "Don't let them. You've already won." The internet went crazy. Fans were crying, others were furious, saying whoever leaked this crossed a line. It wasn't part of the lawsuit, it wasn't part of the music, it was personal family business. Even celebrities started chiming in. Meek Mill tweeted, "They playing dirty now." Cardi B commented on an Instagram post, "Nah, this is wild, disrespectful." But what got people's attention even more was what happened after. A few hours after the voicemail leak, Drake's team released a short statement on his official page. It read, "We are aware of the unauthorized use of private materials. Legal action is being taken." No denial, no confirmation, just that dot, and then, that same night, Drake went live on Instagram. No filters, no background music, no hype. Just him sitting in a dimly lit room, hoodie up, eyes tired. "I ain't gonna talk long," he said. "But I'ma say this once. I came from nothing. I worked for everything I got. And I'll be damned if people try to rewrite my story because they couldn't finish theirs." You could hear the emotion in his voice, not angry, just exhausted. "I made mistakes. Yeah, I trusted people I shouldn't have. But I never stole from nobody. I never built off lies." Comments flooded the live. Hearts, crying emojis, people saying "we got you" and "stay strong." But the most chilling part came at the end when Drake said they think. He ended the live without taking questions. The next morning, Mars responded with his own live. He didn't look angry. He looked calm, confident, almost smug. See, Mars said that's the thing about guilt. It always speaks first. If you never did nothing wrong, why you explaining? Then he dropped a bombshell. He said he was releasing a documentary-style video series on YouTube titled "The Truth About OVO," with never-before-seen footage from those early studio sessions. He promised it would set the record straight. Dropped that same day, and it was wild. Grainy clips of young Drake in the studio, laughing, joking, scribbling lyrics on a notepad. Quick flashes of Lana singing into a mic, Mars behind the boards. Then a voiceover. Before the fame, before the fortune, there was the music and the lies. The internet lost its mind. Every hip-hop outlet, every blog, every drama page reposted it. Fans lined up in the comments like it was a movie premiere. "We need this now. This finna break the internet." Drake's lawyers punching air right now. But behind the hype, Drake was reportedly furious. Sources close to him said he felt betrayed all over again. Not just because of Mars, but because he knew that footage could only have come from someone inside his old circle. He's paranoid. One insider told Candidly Cassie, he's asking everyone from that era who could have leaked it. People who ain't talked to him in 10 years suddenly getting calls. The first episode dropped 3 days later, and it did exactly what Mars wanted. Within an hour, it had 2 million views. It showed clips of Drake and Mars working on early demos. And in one clip, you could hear Mars's voice say, "You should use that melody in the hook." Then Drake nods and hums the same tune that would later appear in one of his famous tracks. Fans were stunned. Twitter exploded again. This proves it. one user wrote. He took that man's sound. Others said, nah, this is just how collaborations work. Y'all, reading too deep. Lana even made a brief appearance in the footage, standing next to Drake, smiling. But what caught everyone's attention was the caption that popped up on screen. The woman who was erased. That one line broke the internet. People started digging into her old catalog, her voice, her lyrics. Some even found similarities between her hooks and Drake's early music. By now, this wasn't just gossip, it was turning into a movement. Hashtags like #JusticeForLana and #MarsVovo were trending worldwide. Petitions started circulating online demanding Drake acknowledge his early collaborators. Even non-fans were weighing in, calling it a debate about artistic credit and power dynamics in the industry. But then came another twist. And this one hit harder than anyone expected. A Toronto journalist claimed to have seen sealed court documents that included Drake's private text messages, which reportedly referenced buying back rights and keeping names off paperwork. Again, nothing was confirmed, but the journalist hinted that if those messages became public, it could seriously damage Drake's credibility. And while all that was happening, Lana disappeared again. Her socials went dark. No posts, no stories, nothing. Fans got worried. Some said she was silenced, others thought she signed an NDA. But then 3 days later, she resurfaced, not online, but in public. Paparazzi caught her leaving a hotel in Los Angeles, wearing sunglasses and holding a thick folder. When reporters asked if she was working with Mars, she smiled slightly and said, "The truth deserves an audience." And guess where she was headed? Allegedly, a meeting with one of Drake's former managers. This story was now spiraling into madness. Even Drake's family couldn't escape it. Sandra reportedly stopped taking calls from reporters after her voicemail went viral. One insider said she told friends she was worried about Aubrey's state of mind. People around Drake said he's been drinking more, not sleeping, getting agitated easily. One night he reportedly told a friend, "They're all eating off my pain." And then, just when the internet started getting used to the chaos, Mars dropped another clip from his docuseries, a snippet of an old argument recorded in a studio hallway. The audio's grainy, but you can clearly hear two voices, Drake and Mars. Drake's voice says, "Bro, I'm trying to build something real." Mars snaps back, "You mean we are? Stop acting like this, all you." And then Drake says, "One day you'll understand." The clip ends there, but that last line sent chills through fans. Everyone started quoting it, using it as memes, captions. Even MERCH. Now the world's watching this drama unfold like it's a season finale. But behind the headlines, Drake's inner circle is shrinking. His security reportedly increased, his phone number changed, and a few OVO affiliates quietly unfollowed him on social media. But the scariest part? Someone leaked that the court has officially subpoenaed Drake to hand over his early hard drives. He has 2 weeks to comply. If he refuses, the judge could order law enforcement to seize them. That means everything, unreleased tracks, demos, private notes could be exposed. Everything he ever recorded since those basement days could potentially go public, and as the pressure mounts. A source close to Drake said he's considering doing something drastic, either dropping a tell-all interview or even an album addressing everything once and for all. Because right now, silence is killing his reputation. But before he can even make that decision, another message hits the internet, a video that appears to show Lana sitting in a studio, saying softly into the camera, "He knows what he did, and deep down, he knows I never lied." And that's where things explode again, setting up the most intense chapter yet, the final confrontation that could decide everything. The tension hit its peak when insiders said Drake finally agreed to a private sit-down with Lana. It was reported to have taken place in a high-rise Toronto studio late at night, with only a handful of people present: Drake's attorney, Lana's manager, and a neutral mediator. Sources say the air was thick, emotions raw, and the silence deafening before anyone even spoke. "I didn't want this to go public," Drake allegedly started, voice low but firm. I never wanted it like this." Lana reportedly stared at him, calm but intense. "And yet, here we are," she said. "I stayed quiet for years. I gave you credit behind the scenes. Now you're exposing me through lawyers and leaks." Friends close to Drake said his jaw tightened, his usual confident demeanor slipping. "He's never faced anyone like this," one source said. "Lana isn't scared of him, and that's rattling him." The conversation reportedly escalated quickly. Drake, frustrated, allegedly slammed a hand on the table. "I built my empire, Lana. You think I owe you? You got nothing to do with my name now." Lana's response reportedly cut deep. "I got nothing to do with your empire. The hooks you made famous, the lyrics you banked on, my ideas, my melodies. I didn't owe you, you owed me respect." At that moment, one of Drake's attorneys stepped in, trying to mediate. "This isn't productive," they said. "Let's keep it civil. Legal matters aside." But according to insiders, emotions ran so high that legal talk didn't stick. Drake allegedly turned to Lana and said quietly, "You made me vulnerable back then. I trusted you. Now it feels like betrayal." Lana reportedly shook her head. "It wasn't betrayal. It was honesty. You've rewritten history enough. I'm just here to get my story straight." That night, a rumor started spreading that a physical altercation almost occurred, but both parties' teams later denied it. Sources claimed the rumor was fueled by an audio clip leaked on a private forum, distorted, half-heard, but enough to get blogs posting headlines like "Drake and Lana almost fight in Toronto." By the next morning, every major gossip outlet had covered it. Social media exploded with theories, memes, and fan debates. The drama had reached new heights. Fans were now choosing sides like it was a sports game. Hashtag Team Drake versus hashtag Team Lana. Meanwhile, Mars wasn't quiet either. Insiders said he met with Drake's former collaborators, allegedly trying to pressure them into giving statements against Drake. Some of these collaborators reportedly agreed to speak on record in exchange for protection from legal retaliation. Then came another twist. A leak from an anonymous source claimed Drake had secretly recorded some of his early studio sessions, including conversations with Mars and Lana. The leak suggested Drake's legal team moved fast, issuing takedown requests to stop the spread of these recordings. But in the digital age, once something leaks, it's nearly impossible to contain. Snippets started appearing on forums, clips on YouTube, and even a few posts on TikTok where users commented. This changes everything. The public pressure intensified when Drake's mother, Sandra, reportedly gave an exclusive interview to a Canadian outlet. She didn't name names, but her words were poignant. "I just want my son to be happy. He's talented, he's worked hard, but he's human. Mistakes don't define him. But truths will come out, and he has to face them." Fans interpreted this as a subtle acknowledgement that Drake's past collaborations might have been mismanaged, but also as a reminder of the human side of the story. Emotions ran high online. Some cried, others raged, and everyone debated what Drake should do next. Then, in what insiders described as a bold move, Drake supposedly called an emergency OVO team meeting. Reportedly, he laid down a plan. He would release a mini-album addressing all the drama, but on his terms. One insider said the room was tense. "He was quiet at first, just staring at the team," the source said. "Then he said, 'If the world wants the story, I'll tell it. But it's my story.'" Drake's announcement, leaked via a photo of him in the studio with headphones on, sent social media into a frenzy. Fans speculated about track names, possible diss lines, and who might be mentioned in the lyrics. Headlines popped up like "Drake fights back in new project" and "OVO Empire ready for war." Just when everyone thought the storm might calm, another drama unfolded. A video surfaced allegedly showing a heated phone call between Drake and Mars, where Mars can be heard saying, "You can't control history, Aubrey. The truth will always surface." Drake allegedly responded, "Watch me." This clip made headlines worldwide. It added fuel to the narrative that Drake was both cornered and determined. A public figure, fighting to protect his legacy while facing accusations that could redefine it. In the midst of all this, Lana reportedly finalized her deal with a streaming platform to produce her own documentary. Insiders say it's set to reveal everything from studio secrets to personal accounts. And it might include Drake's private studio footage, the kind that could either clear him or escalate the drama further. Sources suggest that the filming has already started. And Drake is aware. One insider told Candidly Cassie he knows what's coming and it's keeping him up at night. He's always been careful with his image, but this is a whole new level of exposure. Even family and friends were divided. Some encouraged Drake to publicly apologize or acknowledge early collaborators, while others urged him to stay silent and let the legal process handle everything. Emotions ran high, and tension in his inner circle reportedly reached breaking points to complicate matters. Fans started digging deeper into past interviews, lyrics, and social media posts. They found obscure references that seemed to hint at the past conflicts, fueling speculation that Drake had been subtly addressing this drama in his music for years. Amid all this chaos, insiders say Drake is considering a major announcement, either a public statement, an interview, or the release of new music that could settle scores once and for all. The pressure is enormous, with fans, media, and family all waiting for his next move. The situation is now a powder keg. Drake's reputation, personal relationships, and career legacy hang in the balance. The next week could determine everything, whether he regains control, clears his name, or faces long-term fallout. The world is left with a burning question. Will Drake fight back, reveal the truth, and reclaim his narrative? Or will this drama redefine his story forever? This is where the stage is set for the final showdown. The outcome unknown, the emotions raw, and the stakes higher than ever. So here we are, right at the center of one of the wildest dramas the music world has ever seen. Drake, one of the biggest names on the planet, facing lawsuits, leaks, and accusations that could shake the very foundation of his legacy. Fans are shocked, emotions are running high, and the internet is buzzing nonstop with theories, clips, and hot takes. We've seen leaked voicemails, studio confrontations, secret meetings, and even hints of explosive documentaries. And yet nobody knows what's coming next. Will Drake fight back with music, reveal the truth? Or is this the beginning of a long fall? And here's where you come in. This story isn't just headlines and tweets. It's a conversation, a debate, and a roller coaster that you're part of. We want to hear what you think. Do you side with Drake? Or is Lana and Mars finally getting the justice they deserve? Do you think this lawsuit will change the music industry forever? Or is it just another chapter in hip-hop drama? Your opinion matters. And it's part of the viral energy driving this story forward. So make sure you do 3 things. Right now, smash that like button if you've been following every twist. Hit subscribe so you don't miss a single update as this unfolds, and drop your hot takes in the comments. Tell us what you think will happen next, who's really in the wrong, and what you expect from Drake's next move. The drama is far from over, and your voice could shape the conversation. Stay tuned, because when it comes to this story, one thing is for sure, the next chapter is going to blow up bigger than anything we've seen so far.